Hey guys, it's Jags Nation back at it again with another video. And in today's video, I'm going to be previewing / discussing the upcoming matchup between the Jacksonville Jaguars at Denver Broncos. It is the Jaguars at Broncos, 4:25 p.m. Eastern kickoff on CBS. So basically, in the video, I'm going to be doing my three keys for offense, three keys for defense, and then at the end of the video, I'll do one prediction for the offense and one prediction for the defense. So yeah, let's go ahead and get into it. Sorry for the late video. I've just been busy this week, but I still wanted to put the video up. So, yeah, let's get into it. First things first, when you look at the injury report, the Broncos look like they're a little banged up. I know Kareem Jackson, he didn't practice this whole week, but I think they said he may give it a go. We'll see. And also Bryce Callahan, he is out, so that's like another free agent signing. So they could be out two secondary players, but they still have Chris Harris, who in my opinion is still a good corner. Now you look at the Jaguars injury report, you just have basically three guys. You have Josh Oliver, who's out. That's not a surprise. He's been injured since training camp. And then you have DJ Alexander, who's basically just a special teams guy. Then you have Jalen Ramsey, who is questionable with his back. I do think he's going to give it a go, and I think he will play because there are reports others saying he will play. He did fly with the team. He flew to Nashville Wednesday for the birth of his second child, but flew with the team. So I definitely think he's going to give it a go, and I hope so because having him, it can't hurt. It's only going to help the defense, and I'm excited for this game for the defense. I think they're going to feast on Flacco. The past few years, Flacco's definitely had trouble with the Jags, especially the 2017 season when he had like 20-something passing yards before he got pulled in the third quarter and 2 interceptions and 0 touchdowns. I just think that this is a game where the Jacksonville should have another great game of 6+ sacks. All right, but let's go ahead and get into the keys of the offense. The first key, I think, is you got to get the running game going. That is something we're struggling with. Leonard Fournette last week, yeah, he had a 69-yard run, but take that away, he had, like, -8 yards or something like that. He's just not having a good year, but it's not all on him. It's also on the offensive line. The offensive line, I think, is doing a good job pass blocking, but not run blocking. So definitely we need to try to get the run game going early, and if we can get the run game going early, that's only going to help Gardner Minshew, especially in the passing game and like play action, stuff like that. Like I said, since a lot of their players are injured, their main secondary guy is Chris Harris. So if the play action works, that's only going to help the Jags out by opening up possibly either DJ Chark, D.D. Westbrook, or Chris Conley. And hopefully maybe just not getting Leonard Fournette in the running game, but getting him more involved in the passing game with the screen passes. Because even last week, the screen passes, he was gaining like 2 or 3 yards. He wasn't doing much. I think what's he have, like 20-something receiving yards, if that. I don't really remember, but he's just definitely not having the best year. Like his last year, he obviously was suspended and hurt some games, and I think he only had like 400 or 500 yards total. But we definitely want to try to get into the 2017 form where he hit 1,000 yards, and that definitely was a main reason for our playoff push besides the defense, because we were the #1 rushing team in 2017. But this year we're definitely towards the bottom. And I also would like to see maybe Rock Armstead get a little bit more carries. I think he had 1 carry and 2 carries against the Chiefs week 1. I think he might have had 1 in against the Texans, maybe none. And last week I think he had none. So I like to, especially playing a mile high up in Denver. With the altitude, I really wish that like when Leonard Fournette, they need to give Leonard Fournette a break and put Rock Armstead in there. I know he's a rookie, but just having fresh legs. I mean, he hasn't really played it all, so definitely I think it could help, especially. Maybe run a formation with Leonard Fournette and Rock Armstead both to the left and right of Minshew. That would be nice to see. Second thing is don't turn the ball over. Don't put our defense in bad positions where Flacco can just go ahead and get like the 70. Like only have to go 10 yards to score a touchdown. I don't want that because I think Flacco can do that. But if Flacco has to go 80 yards, that's a whole different story. So yeah, just don't turn the ball over. I think that's like one of my main keys every week is just don't turn the ball over. Get takeaways, but don't turn the ball over. And number 2 is protect Gardner Minshew from Von Miller and Bradley Chubb. Von Miller and Bradley Chubb, even the whole Broncos, they have 0 sacks and 0 takeaways. But that's one thing that scares me about this game is that they have 0 sacks. And Von Miller's still an elite player, and Bradley Chubb, I think, is one of the better pass rushers as well. It's a great duo they have. And it's only a matter of time until they start going. So I hope it's not this game, but I wouldn't be surprised if they get 1 or 2 sacks. I hope that's the most, is just like 1 or 2 sacks. But we will see, I guess. For the offense, I think that's about it. I like to see DJ Chark hopefully get his 4th touchdown in a row. That would be ideal. He's definitely becoming our #1 target. And D.D. Westbrook, hopefully he steps up because last week he dropped a few passes, especially that one touchdown that he would have had. Chris Conley's been doing pretty good for the most part, averaging like 50 or 60 yards a game. He had one touchdown against the Chiefs. So definitely had to get him more involved. I think overall our wide receiver group is definitely underrated with those three. And hopefully Marquise Lee's still working. I know he's active, but hopefully he's working his way back up into the lineup to like getting more playing time and stuff like that. So yeah, let's go ahead and move into the 3 keys of the defense. The first one is obviously get pressure and force sacks on Flacco. Flacco has a tendency to hold the ball for way too long, especially for big plays to develop. And I think that's what we thrive on, is just coverage sacks. Basically, when our DBs, Jalen, AJ Boye, even the linebackers and safeties, when they're covering very well, it just helps the pass rush out immediately. And Calais Campbell, I think he's going to have a great game, especially coming home to play in front of his family and friends and stuff like that. So yeah, just go ahead and get pressure, make him uncomfortable, make him make mistakes, and make him get the ball out quick for only like a few yard, 3 or 4 yard gains here and there. Number 2 is, I usually say this every week, is stop the run. If we can stop the run, then that's obviously going to force Flacco to throw the ball, which would be ideal. They have Royce Freeman and also Phillip Lindsay. I think Phillip Lindsay is definitely a pretty good running back. He was undrafted last year, went to the Pro Bowl. I think they have a pretty good combo, but they haven't really done too much this year, obviously, because they can't really run the ball, because I believe the Broncos have been playing from behind a lot, so that doesn't help. But when they get a lead, that's when Phillip Lindsay and their running attack definitely comes in effect. So definitely stop the run and put the ball in Flacco's hands and make him force the ball and get turnovers. And that leads to number 3 key, and that's to get turnovers, get good field position, whether it's sacks, interceptions, because we have yet to get any. We got on defense. We got one last week when Leon Jacobs recovered the muff punt by Adoree Jackson. So definitely turnovers, either forced fumbles or interceptions. I like to see maybe a pick 6 or something like that. Definitely possible against Flacco. Hopefully, between 5 and 6 sacks, maybe more, and then 2 or 3 takeaways would be ideal. I think that's basically my 3 keys. So yeah, 3 keys for offense: get the run game going, don't turn the ball over, protect Gardner from Von Miller and Bradley Chubb, because they're the only 2 guys in their defense that scare me, besides Chris Harris, who is in secondary. But Chris Harris is only one person. He can only do so much, and I think we need to take advantage of the injured Broncos secondary. And then defense, get pressure and slash sacks on Flacco, stop the running game, and then also get turnovers and give our offense good field position. Because playing in Denver is definitely a hard place to play, and plus we're not a really good West Coast team anyways. So we need the good field position, and hopefully, start with a 14-0 lead right away. And I think that's when our defense definitely starts feasting on sacks and stuff like that. Because you could tell last week against the Titans when we went up 14-0, that's when our defense, we ended up getting 9 sacks from that point all the way to the end of the game. So definitely looking forward to this game. Like I said, 4:25 kickoff, and I think we have a really good shot. I usually don't like to do predictions in here, but out of all 4 games so far, kind of this one, I think this is the one we had the best chance at. So I definitely would love to just take away and just win like 35-10 or something like that. All right, so now my prediction for the offense, bold prediction kind of, is I think Leonard Fournette actually has a good game. I think he has over 100 yards in his first touchdown of the season. That's my offensive prediction. I was going to say DJ Chark 4 touchdowns in a row, 4 games in a row, but I don't want to jinx it. So I'm going to go ahead and go with Leonard Fournette, 100-yard game, 1 touchdown. And for defense, Yannick has yet to get a sack, even though we had 9 sacks last week. He definitely was there causing pressure, but he has yet to get a sack. So I think he gets 2 sacks and a forced fumble. I'm not going to say fumble recovery, but I'll say 2 sacks and a forced fumble. So yeah, overall, I'm just looking forward to the game. I'm hopefully to have a reaction video right after the game. But if not, I'm gonna try to do it Monday, so I can go back and probably rewatch the game. So yeah, go Jags, and hopefully we get this dub and bring it home.